So picking up right where we left off with the language translator node, in this video, we're going to be talking about the language identifier node. The language identifier node lets you identify the language text is written in. It uses the language translator service. So if you've already watched the language translator video and you've already set that up, you're good to go. As you can see, you won't need any credentials or anything like that because we already set it up with the language translator node. So to use this node, we're going to drag out and inject and a debug node along with the language identify node and wire them up. In the inject node, we're going to change the payload to a string, and I'm just going to type in, the boy had a red water bottle. I'm going to click done. And like I said before, the language identify node doesn't have any configurations, so we're just going to leave it as it is. But in the debug node, we're going to change the output from message.payload to message.lang. What this will do is that when we deploy and inject the sentence we just wrote, it will return the language with the highest score. So we're going to click done, deploy, and then inject it. And as you can see in the debug tab, the score is 0.9999. The scores are out of 1, so this tells you that the language identify node is pretty confident that what we just inputted is English. If you wanted to see all the languages and all the confidence scores for those languages, we can just head back into the debug node and change the output to message.languages. Click done and deploy it. And this will provide you with all the languages and the respective confidence level for each of them. As you can see, there's 62 of them, so I'm not going to expand all of them. Let's try a few more examples. Let's try the Spanish sentence we translated using the language translator node. So I'm just going to paste that right in there. Click done. And I'm just going to change the output back to message.lang because I just want the highest score. Click done and then deploy it. And as you can see, it's pretty confident that it's Spanish. If you want to use the language identify node, but on a web page like this one, where all you have to do is enter some text and then just press enter, you can go to the language translator GitHub page and then click on this language identify web page flow, click on the raw file, select all and copy it, and we're just gonna import it into Node-RED. We want to put it in the current flow, press import, and then just drop it anywhere you like. So I'll quickly talk about the way it works. So there's an HTTP request with the URL /API, which is connected to an HTML template right here, which is what you see. And then that's connected to an HTTP response. The actual language identifying is done in this flow down here. We have another HTTP request, which goes into a function node, which takes out your input, which is what you put in this text field right here. It feeds that to the language identify node, which sends it to this function node that processes all the languages and sends the language with the highest score to the HTTP response. So that's all for the language identify node. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.